Devastating news for Rashee Rice owners. Rashee Rice looking like he has a strong shot at being done for the season as his knee hyperextended. And if I get my knee model out, I'll show you what had happened. So basically, your knee bends like this. Obviously, this is your kneecap, your patellar tendon, your MCL, your LCL. And essentially, this guy had his knee hyperextend to the point where you're either tearing your ACL, you're either tearing your PCL, or you're maybe doing one of those. And this additional part that we're concerned about is the bone bruise, where the two joints, as you can see, the padding between the knees, as you bend around, these two joints stay separate from each other with that meniscus padding in between. When you hyperextend your knee, you can see the bone smashing into the bone, creating a bone bruise, which is not some small little situation. This is a very, very knee integrity type of concern. So at the very least, he's out probably on IR, if I had to guess, 4 weeks, if we don't have a torn ACL or a torn PCL. Well, we'll get to the JD5 is him. You know what? Let's get to it now. JD5 is maybe the best quarterback in the NFL already.
Let him cook.
A lot of Mahomes panic. I get it. Worthy stepped up with a big touchdown grab. He'll probably step up even more going forward. We're going to have to make some determinations about your quarterback situation. I'm still not giving up on Mahomes, but losing Rashee Rice does take a big nutsack kick to the value department of Mahomes. So we'll break that down. Bijan concerns. Yes. Mason, Debo, whole lot of good stuff to discuss. Some bad stuff to discuss. For those of you that feel like the sky is falling, remember that everybody's sky has fallen just a little bit today. And when a lot of bad things happen across the NFL, everybody's feeling it somewhere. Okay, so don't doom and gloom yourself into a corner tonight. Turn the lights off, take a cold shower, and wither away as the water beats on the top of your head and back, and you start whimpering. Stand up tall, pull your pants up, buckle up put your belt on, buckle it tight, roll your sleeves up. Let's get into the weeds of this. Let's try and fix and solve your problems versus sulk on them. And let's try and dominate. This is why we play the game. Remind yourself, this is why you play the game. Do you play the game because you don't like challenges? Do you play the game because you want to win by 100 points every single week? No, you might feel like you want that now because you want to get rid of the anxiety and stress. But remember what brought you to this game. It was the challenge of fantasy football. It was looking 11 other individuals, some of you 7 other grandmas in the eye, looking 11 other individuals in the eye and saying, I'm going to beat you at this game. The challenge is real. I don't care if I'm down. I don't care if it's week 5 and I've got 2 wins. I'm going to win this. I'm going to step up to the challenge. There's no crying here in fantasy football. There's only fixing, resolving problems, and moving forward. Are you a problem solver? Are you a person that tries to go in another direction when someone's trying to shove you down a direction of doom? No, you are not. Stand tall. Let's get into the weeds of this thing. Let's turn your seasons around, and let's make great decisions go forward. The Fantasy Football Show, the No Crying Show, begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
You know, it really sucks I can't play the JD5 clip. There are 2 5s. The only JD5 clip I have is this one right here. When in the offseason, I got DM after DM saying, can you stop talking about JD5? Can you start talking about another player? And so I made this apology. This is only JD5. I got to redo the 2 5s down to the 1 5 video clip. But here is the 1 JD5 clip I do have.
It was brought to my attention. I might be talking a little bit too much about the same topic lately. I've been doing a lot of JD5 posts, and I know people are saying, Smitty, I wish you could create more diverse content. You've been like 4 of your last 10 posts have been about JD5, and I just said, I don't know. I guess my reaction wasn't really the best. So I want to first acknowledge that and just say no one's perfect. I'm always trying to get better, and I do think you won't hear any more. I'm gonna stay away from JD5 content. Never. Come on, bro. Buckle up, baby.
Also, breaking news. Yeah? No. The Lionheart was slayed? Oh, no. The Lionheart was captured and injured. We don't know if the Lionheart's dead or not, but the Lionheart gave us a good run. Look, the Lionheart was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Maybe Kareem Hunt is here to stay. So hopefully you grab Kareem Hunt like we kind of talked about all free agency long, that if you grab one, you got to grab the other. Grab P. Ryan, you got to try and grab 2 of those guys because you don't know if the Lionheart's going to he's going to get captured. We knew he's going to get captured at some point. Worthy, Rashee Rice, there's a whole lot to get through here. So Chiefs Andy Reid, head coach Andy Reid said that, how's the knee? At halftime, how's the knee? He said, no, we don't have an update, but it's not good. And again, my assessment based on my 23 plus years of playing fake doctor here on the Fantasy Football Show is that his knee 100% either tore his ACL or just sprained his knee very badly, and the ACL and PCL are intact. But you're really at risk of at the center of the knee tearing that ACL when your knee hyperextends like that or extends this way. Anytime the knee's going one way or the other in extreme fashion, you're stretching. You can see the PCL and ACL stretching, right? So his knee went to the point where a bone-on-bone smash could happen, and that's where you're going to get those bone bruises right there, where the bone it's very soft there. It's very tender, and the integrity of the bone is at risk. The integrity of the entire joint, both sides of the joint are at risk if you're to try and rush back from that. It's also a pain tolerance issue, but there's certainly a risk for catastrophic knee injury if you don't let the bone bruise heal. So we're talking about most likely at least a 4-week absence if we escape an ACL or PCL tear. If an ACL or PCL tear are in play, Rice's season is over. And this does impact Mahomes a little bit, but this isn't something where we're putting, in my opinion, Mahomes on the bench unless you have JD5. You have JD5, you should be playing JD5. JD5 was the higher upside play anyway this week. We got that question a lot. Mahomes, JD5 Mahomes. I'll be honest with you, I split it. I had several leagues where I had JD5 and a top 3 quarterback because I drafted JD5 everywhere. And I split it in some cases. I wish I went JD5 in all 7 out of 7. I think it's 7 out of 7 leagues. But I went JD5 in half of them, and I'm smashing like crazy.
Let him cook. It's Chief season.
Will Mahomes throw for 45 touchdowns on the year? Probably not anymore. Something I have to accept, but I don't think Mahomes is cooked. I don't think Mahomes doesn't bounce back. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be an absolute superstar down the stretch. I think they're going to use Xavier Worthy all over the field. So Xavier Worthy's stock 100% goes up. Does Patrick Mahomes' stock go down because of the Rice injury? It can't go any lower than it is right now in many of your eyes, so I think it stays pretty stagnant. But I think I buy low if I'm in a weak situation and I want to take a gamble on a QB. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about whether Mahomes is a good buy low for you. But is he dragging right now? Absolutely. But they're 4-0. They're 4-0. That doesn't give you fantasy points. I get it, but this is going to change for Mahomes at some point. There was plenty of opportunity for him to have a 3-touchdown game in this game, and he didn't. It is what it is. But this is not looking good. We'll have more information on Rashee Rice, but looking like there's a real strong shot he's out for the season. We just got to hope that he gets some sort of positive update on the knee. Worthy to the moon. Here's another guy that lives on Saturn. His name is Kyren Williams, and he almost had a lot more than this. look, games are what they are. There's a lot of woulda, shoulda, coulda moments. There's a lot of callback plays. But Kyren Williams, 19 totes for 94 yards and a touchdown, catching 4 receptions. The yardage wasn't great in the yardage department but for the receptions, but 4 receptions. They're utilizing him a ton in the passing game. And sometimes he's out as a wide receiver, out in space, out in the slot, out in the flat, just running around, and even Ronnie Rivers is on the field at the same time. And Ronnie Rivers appears to be the current cuff at this current moment in time. Jayden Daniels, best through 4 games of the season, minimum 40%, 82.1% completion percentage, 218 rush yards, second most by a QB through 4 games. And Commanders have scored 16 straight drives. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. JD5 isn't just him. He's absolutely him. Times 5.
Let him cook.
God, JD5 is so amazing. I'm in the middle of talking about Kyren, and I can't even get through it because we just want to talk about JD5. So anyway, we'll keep coming through. This is crazy, man. I'm scrolling for news updates as I'm trying to present all this to you. So bear with me as I try and find breaking news as we navigate. But man, JD5. Look at these stats. These stats are remarkable. Highest completion percentage in a 4-game span in a season since the merger since the NFL merger, minimum of 100 attempts. Jayden Daniels, like I said, 82.1% in 2024 here for the young man. And the second place runner-up is Peyton Manning, 81.8%. Tom Brady, 79.2%. I mean, this is an MVP season that he's having right now. If Jayden Daniels continues, he wins the NFL MVP as a rookie. He wins the NFL MVP as a rookie. Don't tell me to slow down. Don't tell me to relax. Don't tell me anything. I'll do whatever the hell I want. This is my show. This is my content. And if I want to tell you that if he continues to do this, he'll win the NFL MVP, you can say whatever the hell you want. I could care less. That's what JD5's on his way to doing if he continues. Kyren Williams is on his way to helping you win a championship. 19 totes, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Very much, I believe, to be the number 1 or number 2 top running back in the National Football League. Yeah, Josh Allen, the other MVP candidate, sitting right here, getting warmed up on the field. Jamar Chase, what a nice. He always comes back home. Jamar Chase always. I think we're going to say this about Mahomes too. I really, truly do. But Jamar Chase always comes back home. He always comes back home. And he can start off slow. He can get injured, whatever. This man caught 3 of 6 targets. Could have been a much bigger day had he continued to do work. But 85 yards and a touchdown. Amazing touchdown catch. Jamar Chase doing Jamar Chase things. This is a top 4 wide receiver going forward. Anthony Richardson. I was wrong. I was wrong. I don't know what's in store for his future. I'm not willing to write him off entirely as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And I think it's very important to understand that Josh Allen was atrocious at times during his rookie year. And there's definitely, some potential somewhere inside this kid. And the team apparently wants to maybe consider playing him again next week. Here's the report. The hope is that Anthony Richardson misses very little, if no, game action with the hip pointer. But the thing about Anthony Richardson is that he could have went back into the game, they say, and they didn't put him in there. They kept Joe Flacco out there. Joe Flacco looks like he's commanding this offense 10 times better than Anthony Richardson. I don't know what to tell you about this. It is what it is. I'm going to miss on some things, and I'm going to tell you when I think I'm wrong. I'm not wrong on Mahomes. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not wrong. Will he be the number 1 quarterback with Rice out? No. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I'd rather have JD5 right now. Of course I would. But Rice going down is a big blow. But is he still a top 5 quarterback? I believe he is. I'll trade for Mahomes 10 times out of 10 times at the low value because it's at his floor. It's all baked in. Worst case scenario, you buy Mahomes as QB 5, 6, 7. You're 100% getting top 8 quarterback value. This right here, that's me telling you I'm not digging my heels in. I believe in it. This is me showing you that I'm an unbiased fantasy football analyst. And when it becomes the moment in time to admit you're wrong, and when the moment presents itself that we need to change directions immediately, you got to come in and take your lumps. I thought, as many did in this industry, that this man's talent would outproduce the negatives and the constant red flags that a lot of people that did hate him said were present. And I believe that one throw that we saw off his back foot in, was it week 1 or week 2? I think it was it week 1? That back throw toss where he threw literally 60 something yards. It looked like it was a drone football. It just kept flying and flying. I thought, you know what? This is somebody that, even though he's going to have his faults, he's got so much talent, he's going to be able to figure it out in time. He still may, but I can't bank on it. I can't wait on it. I can't expect it. This guy doesn't know. Here's the problem. Red flags galore. Whenever you have multiple red flags, I tell you to run. We got to take my own advice. I've got to take my own advice and run away from this situation. So you have not only a guy that doesn't have accurate footballs that are getting tossed around. You have a guy that doesn't read defenses very well yet. You have a guy that doesn't know when to slide. You have a guy that doesn't know not only when to slide, but how to take a hit. And you have a guy that's very injury prone. We're at 6 red flags right now. We have 6 red flags. Then the 7th red flag, and maybe the most important red flag of them all, if staying on the field isn't the most important, I would say that he's in his own head right now. He is absolutely demolished in the mind right now. There's no way you could be confident, go out there and throw very good footballs and go make good decisions when your backup QB, Joe Flacco, with the experience that Joe Flacco brings to the table, there's no way this guy's going to go out there and play good football, mistake-free football. It's time to let him go right now. I don't know about cutting him. It depends on your situation. I certainly would contemplate picking him up as a backup QB if someone does cut him, just so you know. But this is time to admit that this experiment is over in terms of being a top 5 quarterback. And I'll take my lap on that. Jayden Reed is him.
Let him cook.
What a buy low this week. Everybody forgot. What did I say before the game? What did I say last night? What did I say the night before? Everybody's conveniently forgetting how good they thought he was coming out of week number 1 when Jordan Love was on the field. He was a low-end... he was a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. Like, a low-end wide receiver 1 means you're like 12. You're wide receiver 12. He was wide receiver 12 or 13. Some people would say 10, 11. Walking out of week 1, and Jordan Love misses action. And everybody runs away. People say, do I go Reed this week? Do I start Reed this week? Jordan Love's back. Why wouldn't you start Reed this week? The Minnesota Viking defense, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers are a little bit different. And this is a good coaching staff that might be able to outmaneuver the Minnesota Vikings. This was a good play. This was a good buy low. And Jayden Reed is absolutely in the conversation of one of the better wide receiver 2s in fantasy that can flirt with wide receiver 1 production on any given Sunday. So congrats to anybody that traded for this man on the low walking into week number 4. Kirk Cousins is a problem. And I don't mean a problem in a good way. I mean Kirk Cousins is dragging down the entire Atlanta Falcons offense. Part of it is coaching. Part of it is play calling. Some of it might not even be all his fault. Maybe they put Penix Jr. into the lineup and we feel like, okay, they're still holding Penix Jr. back. Part of this could be the way they're scheming things up. But I do feel like until they replace and get this guy out of the lineup and put in Penix Jr., I don't know what's in store for the pass catchers. I do know that we could overreact on Bijan if we want to. And that may or may not be a smart move. Overreact being what? What can you even do with them? You got to sell them for third round value? You might as well hold them and hope things get better. If you're a box score Bobby, then you don't know that he had a 20-yard reception for a touchdown called back. And I was on my Patreon. The link is pinned in the live chat. I was on my Patreon live at halftime of the games, and then we went into the third quarter. Bijan caught that 20-yard touchdown, and I went ballistic. I was screaming. I was saying, that's right, that's right. I'm screaming and yelling. Ask the people that were in the Patreon. I was absolutely having a day. And then I see the yellow laundry emoji. And I said to myself, son of a B. And they called back this Bijan Robinson 20-ish yard receiving touchdown back. And now we're back to he's garbage. Now we're back to panic mode. And dare I say, I don't know that he's going to get lucky and get these touchdown opportunities the weeks that, he's been getting them things called back. It's not like this is Bijan's first big play opportunity dialed back, but that was a stinger. And we're going to have a lot of people that didn't see that play look at box scores and react. I'm going to buy low before I'm going to freak out. I'm going to hold unless I'm selling high. I'm going to hold unless I'm selling high. I'm not selling medium rare. I'm buying medium rare, maybe. I'm buying low, but I'm not buying high, if that makes sense. I'm covering all the bases. There is legitimate concern for Bijan, Kirk Cousins, and the Atlanta Falcons. But I'm buying low. I'm not selling low. I'm not buying high, but I'm certainly going to buy if it's not a high price tag, because I think there's still insane amount of value in Bijan Robinson. He is physically one of the most gifted running backs, if not top 3 guaranteed in the league physically. But the situation feels like, as we said in the Patreon, a lot of people said in the Patreon, it's like Arthur Smith is still, the ghost of Arthur Smith is hanging around. His playbook is still there. He left his playbook behind, and we don't know what in the hell is in store for him. So we have to worry about, how this offense is going to look going forward. No doubt about it. Here's more interesting information. This is from NFL on CB. This is absolutely crazy when you think about it. Sam Darnold, the most TD passes in the NFL right now. Sam Darnold, 11. That's another player I was wrong about. That's another player I was wrong about, and an offense I was wrong about, as is Baker Mayfield with 8 touchdowns. Another player I was wrong about. Another offense I was wrong about. I'll take my 2 laps. AR5, my 3 laps. AR5, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. I'm going to take laps on those and take some accountability, because we pat ourselves up on the back a lot here on this channel. We take victory laps. I don't want to rub people the wrong way and make you think you're in an environment where we don't take accountability. My bad on Sam Darnold. He looks freaking fantastic. How it continues, I don't know. Will Baker continue to be this good? I don't know. Will Sam Darnold continue to be this good? I don't think he will slow down too much, but it's crazy. And then here's this AR5 situation. Sounds like Anthony Richardson could have come back into the game if necessary. That's a good sign. I put a little comment on this post for me and Rappaport, and I said, well, then the translation to that is they don't want him in the game. I don't know what happens next week. My guess is that they want to see if he'll be healthier. They'll wait a week. They'll wait another week. He's still healing, and they'll see if Flacco can keep him off the field. If Flacco goes out and wins 2 games in a row and looks good doing it, they will then have the courage, the liquid courage probably at that point, to say, I'm sorry, AR5's not coming back into the lineup. We'll address this later, and they're going to pull a Bryce Young. But I don't think they have the balls to do that this week. I think they're going to give us an injury story and say AR5 needs another week of rest, and they're going to start Joe Flacco. And then they're going to say, if he wins, AR5 needs another week of rest, and they start Joe Flacco, and they'll earn their courage to say he's not our starter anymore. That is how it's going to happen. That is how it's going to happen. Justin Jefferson, 6 of 8 targets for 85 yards and a touchdown. This guy's remarkable. He continues to do it. He continues to score touchdowns. That was part of his game with Kirk Cousins, that he never really was a consistent touchdown getter. JJ's doing great things with Sam Darnold. So Jonathan Taylor, questionable to return. This was when that happened. We'll have to monitor the ankle walking into the coming weeks. But JT certainly going to have a boost in value once this offense can build itself around Flacco. And they're going to be more balanced without the threat of vulturing touchdowns from this man. This would certainly make his value go up in value. Caleb Williams looked like trash in this game. The announcers continue to glaze him like this is where he gets cooking. Or Caleb's progressively gotten better before he threw a touchdown pass. Progressively gotten better throughout the game. He was overthrowing everybody left and right. Granted, he was getting sacked a lot. His offensive line's horrible. But Caleb Williams was a hot mess in this game. And he ended up throwing a touchdown pass. This is going to be, I think, what his rookie season looks like. It's going to be very, very bad. And he's going to have a couple, garbage scores, the team playing from behind. And so the stats could be there on occasion, but this is not somebody you want in your lineup. Let me see something real quickly. This guy, Caleb, JD5, Caleb, JD5. What? There was something about this in the offseason where people were saying that this man deserved to be the number 1 overall pick and not this man. I don't know. How's that looking now? You sure about that? You sure about that? I might be taking a couple laps on here, taking my lumps and being a man about it. Being a man about AR5. Being a man about Sam Bradford. Why do I keep saying Sam Bradford? Everybody throw Sam Bradford in the chat. Sam Darnold. I'm being a man about it. Sam Darnold and Baker and AR5. And no, I'm not taking a lap on Lionheart. You know what you're getting into with Lionheart. Lionheart was a rental. He wasn't somebody that was going to be some long-term value in the league. We were hoping we got more out of it. But like every time I got a Lionheart question, it was a very risky play. I think the exact words I used every time were, you don't know what Kareem Hunt's volume's going to be. So, no, I'm not taking a lap on Lionheart. That is what it is. That's a shot in the dark play every single week. Okay. Justin Fields.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Fields like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Fields so good.
Fields General.
My field's good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. He's for reals.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. God, Fields looks good. He's just like he's even struggling and he still looks good. 312 yards and 1 passing touchdown. 50 or so yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. It was an L though. Believe it or not. It was an L. Almost a W. But he's earned this job. And I'm getting sick and tired of this team and organization and Tomlin not going to bat for him. Not saying this is our starter. I mean, he just looked phenomenal in that game. Stroud definitely, would have loved an extra TD that we almost got, but this was his get-right game. 345 yards and 2 touchdowns, one of which went to this man, Nico Collins, who is the best receiver in the National Football League. At least he feels that way in my mind today. Okay, he's top 5. He's top 5. This is one of the best buy lows walking into week number 4. That buy low season door is closed. The window is closed. If you wanted to buy CJ Stroud or this man Nico Collins, like we said all week long, he's a top 5 giant just waiting to become that in everyone's eyes. Right now, everyone's kind of worried about it. What's going on? He got banged up. Oh my God. When the news broke that he might not play, when people actually perpetuated that information when it was not true. On X, we said buy him on that. Even if he did sit out, buy him on it. Buy now. Buy Nico now. Nico, 151 and a touchdown, 12 of 15. He pulled in 12 of his 15 targets, and Dell will be back. Dell will be good. Dell's a good buy low. Stroud was a great buy low. Dell's still a good buy low. Nico's a league winner.
Let him cook.
League winner, league winner, league winner, league winner, league winner. Do it live. Stroud, what a man. Look, this feels more fool's gold than anything. Look, Swift did look really good on some of these runs, I'll admit, but I'm selling off this. I really am. 16 totes. Roschon scored. There's still threat of total committee. 93 yards. He won't have that breakaway run every single week. It was really all on one huge run. 16 times, 93 yards and a touchdown. Sell on this value. This will be tremendous sell high opportunity for those of you that have Swift on your roster. We could do a lot with this. We could package Swift with a wide receiver like a Garrett Wilson. You're worried about Garrett Wilson? Package Swift with Garrett Wilson to go get a bigger name wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, 5 of 8 for 41. Kind of what we talked about last week. I'm very worried about, and obviously I think the whole world is now too, worried about this Jet offense. This Jet offense is like, it feels like they get five drives. It feels like it's just slow football. It's slow. It's not aggressive. It feels like the Falcons. The Falcons and the Jets are slow ball. It's slow ball. Let's go have 4 or 5 drives. Let's drag this thing out. Barely give anybody enough opportunity to ever have an oversaturation of targets. I just feel like what a waste of talent. This poor guy Garrett Wilson and all of us that continue to buy into it as if it's going to change. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know that you can sell high. We're kind of forced to hold him. He's ultra talented, uber talented. No one's saying he doesn't have the physical talent. Same thing with Bijan. No one's saying Bijan doesn't have the talent to be the number 1 running back in the National Football League. No one is saying this guy can't be a top 5 talent in the National Football League. But the situations right now are dog water. They're dog water. Jordan Love, not dog water. Jordan Love, 32 of 54, 389. Quattro touchdowns, my friends, against the Minnesota Vikings defense people said he couldn't do it against, but he was a crafty play, as was Reed. And Jordan Love dropping biscuits all over the field in this one. 4 tutties doing it live. Chuba, dare I say, I don't know what to think of Chuba. I like what I'm seeing. Problem is, Brooks is coming back. Problem is, there's no way in my mind with Brooks coming back from the ACL tear that this can sustain. If you have both of them, maybe you hold depending on the scenario. I'm always looking to buy low, sell high. But this feels to me, MJ Pieces, JD5, best advice I got all year. Thanks, Smitty, my dude. Appreciate you, bro. This guy right here is looking good. For right now, he's a must play, but a very good sell piece. Him and Swift, I utilize not because I think he can't continue, but because if I can sell low, even if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong because I'm buying low on a piece that I love. In a worst case scenario, Chuba continues. It's an even wash because I bought a player I quietly like better. That's how buy low, sell high works. Okay, so before anybody's, this Pittman needs to be picked up. Look, it is what it is. We're going to put him on the waiver wire board. He'll be on the waiver wire board. He got cut in a lot of leagues. Some of us couldn't drop anybody. You know, some of us couldn't drop anybody when he was sitting out there. Depends on the size of the bench, right? It's feared that Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice has torn his ACL, as I mentioned earlier. So that news is kind of coming in on X right now. I think the reason we know this is probably true is because of the way that the knee bent and the way that we saw the joint get manipulated. Usually hard to not have an ACL tear. The reason why is this ACL, this ligament, if you see, let me put this news on screen here because this is coming in hot right now, and it's not anything different than what I've been telling you, but we have more people talking about it, the fear of an ACL, and they probably have a good idea that it is probably a tear because of what I'm about to explain to you. So it is feared that there's an ACL tear for Rashee Rice. The reason why is if you look at this model, this is your MCL, this is your LCL. As you can see, when I turn like this ligament, the MCL, does not tear in half, rarely ever. It's very rare. You have what is considered a surgical, like a grade 2 or higher, where you might need surgery to repair the ligament, but it doesn't tear in half. This ligament, the LCL, even harder really to rip in half, or they're both very, very difficult to rip in half. This one goes all the way down your leg and essentially into your foot. But the LCL, you don't snap it, you stretch it. Okay, these are designed to have a little bit of like give to them. The ACL is not. The ACL is a taut, very tight ligament that pulls the two knee joints down. Think of it like this pen. Here's one joint, here's the other joint. The ACL is in the middle of the knee. The PCL is in the middle of the knee, and it's very taut. You could almost play the harp on it. The music. Just kind of flick the thing. It's very taut. It's not meant to have give. It's very different. The ACL is very different. And the ACL, when you put it in any sort of manipulative, positioning, it snaps like a rubber band. So it's different when you do this to say, well, I just stretched the MCL and the LCL, Smitty, so maybe I didn't tear the ACL. Probably not likely. The amount of hyperextension that happened in his knee and the manipulation, and we thought maybe this happened with Jordan Love, so you never know. You could escape it, but the amount of hyperextension we saw usually indicates an ACL tear. So this probably is true. He's probably out for the year. I'll put that right here. Pittman needs to be grabbed off waivers if he was cut. 6 of 9 targets. Why? Because of the quarterback change. If AR5 comes back, he's still going to be up and down. So know that. Chase Brown. Chase Brown scoring 2 tutties, toting the rock 15 times for 80 yards. Moss is still very involved, but if Moss goes down, or you just keep using him as a flex play and getting good production, you'll be okay. If Moss goes down, this becomes I don't want to say a league winner, but a very, very good player that helps you potentially have an advantage at your RB position. And RB position is getting ravaged right now. Bucky Irving, one of our top waiver wire guys each and every week. Bucky doing Bucky things. Bucky to the mother freaking moon. Bucky looked fantastic. Bucky looked fantastic in week number 4. And they called back a touchdown that he had, a real nice long touchdown run. They didn't call back. They called him down. And so they didn't rule it a touchdown. It was down at like the 1 or 1.5 yard line. And they said, let's give it to Bucky. I believe it was on a sweep to the left. And it was, or the counter. I forget which one it was. It was a beautiful run. It might have been a sweep. And they literally chuck this ball to Bucky. And Bucky just goes straight into the end zone with his speed, his aggressiveness, his decisiveness. This is an RB. I think the takeover essentially happened. Rachaad White is still going to be a part of this situation, but this might be your running back 2-3. We won't call him a full-fledged running back 2 yet, or an elite one, but he's a absolute gem of a flex play going forward. Bucky, congrats to anybody that picked up Bucky. It is Bucky season. Love it. We might have a Bucky Irving video very, very soon. Buy low on Evans. Why, Smitty? What? 94 yards and a touchdown's why? Almost had another one. Buying low on Evans is done. That window's closed. Tank Bigsby. ETN got banged up. I think it wasn't crazy serious. It seemed like they at some point decided just to keep Tank Bigsby in the game. Tank Bigsby played a lot. Ran the ball 7 times for 90 yards. Looked very efficient. Almost had a big, long touchdown run like Bucky Irving. And was ruled down or out of bounds, I forget, near the end of it. So this was a great day for Bigsby. Bigsby will be on the buy low list, or on the waiver wire list for week number 4. And that show, when does that show air? When does the weekly waiver wire show air? Right after the Sunday night game. So we have Sunday night football kicking off here shortly, and we will be back after that. We're not gone yet. I'm just telling you. After this game, once the game kicks off, Your boy Smitty's going to eat some dinner. I'm going to watch the game, and then we come back and do the waiver wire show. And this video will be up for the waiver wire show about 2 to 5 minutes before the game actually ends. We'll be in here in the actual video chatting, and I'll hit go live as soon as the game ends. So if you want your waiver wire content immediately, you want to be on this channel, and you want to be here while the Sunday night game every week comes to a close. We're already live waiting to hit the button, okay? So join me each week. Just know that. Say, oh, the game's ending. The Sunday night game's ending. Let's go see where Smitty is. Breece Hall. Oh, my God. You know, we've got Bijan. Big, gross misuse of resources over in Atlanta. We got Breece Hall. Majorly neglected in New York. We've got handfuls of players in the NFL right now that are not being used properly. And there are no two more misused players in the National Football League than Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson. 2 top 5 overall picks are not being used enough to even warrant being running back 2s in some sense. This is absolutely a travesty beyond measurement. And I don't know what to tell you other than I would rather buy low on Hall than buy low on Bijan, but I have almost near equal fears that there could be some sort of situation where at some point during the year, we are not liking these guys as much as we want to. And it's a damn shame because it's not about their talent, it's about their situations. It's about adjusting and adapting, but at the same time, I still feel like Hall is a good enough buy right now. I'm just concerned as hell about this Jets offense. I'm concerned as hell about the Atlanta Falcons offense and how they're matriculating the football down the field and how they're using the clock and how they're deciding when to use their star players. The fact that we had Bijan not in the game in crucial moments near the goal line, Tyler Algier ripping off big runs that should be Bijan's is not because Algier's good. If Bijan just got all the work like he did in week 1, he would have had 150 yards and a touchdown in this game. So I don't know what to tell you other than we will be buying low, but we have to be careful. We have to buy Bijan and Hall low. We have to hold them and not sell low. We have to buy them low, but I don't know about buying either of them even remotely high. And that's a very sad thing to say. But we are an adjust and adapt community. I'm not running from Breece Hall. We're just being careful with what we're talking about. Brian Thomas Jr., not only did his stats not really tell the whole story, his 6 of 9 for 86 and a touchdown, he looks the part. And he looks like Trevor Lawrence's main squeeze. Whenever Trevor Lawrence and he's in his bag, which is not always happening. Okay? This man looks for Brian Thomas Jr. on the reg. And it's going to continue. And Brian Thomas Jr. is going to continue to get better and better and better. Sam Darnold. 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. We talked about this already. I took my lap and I said this guy's going to probably continue to do this well. Leggett on our waiver wire board all year long. There's a reason we talk about Leggett on the waiver board every single week. And last night's show and this morning's show, we said grab him and hold him. Maybe you can't use him. Maybe you were in dire straits and it was a good play. But maybe you couldn't use him yet. But you needed to grab him because everybody would be racing to the waiver wire walking into Tuesday to grab him if you don't grab him early. He is a great hold. What did people do? It looks as though, based on the numbers, not many people grabbed him. So now he will be a hot commodity walking into week number 5 waiver wire requests. So we did what we can. And I know you can't grab everybody on the waiver wire, and it wasn't like he was the number 1 choice, but in a lot of your situations, he was because all the other choices on the board are gone. This was a fantastic grab and hold, and congrats to anybody that grabbed him. Here's a buy low opportunity. Saquon Barkley, 84 yards, no touchdown, but he did add 2 receptions for 32 yards. We've got super chats to get to. Let's get to those before the game starts. We got Styles with the $20 hauler. Thank you, Styles. Styles, you still here? And then we got a $50 bomb, or $100 bomb from Eric, who comes in and usually does this. Eric, you still here? Eric does this once, almost seems like once a week. Eric, where you at? Eric dropping $100 hauler says JD5 is the hottest, or is hotter than a what is this? Hotter than and fish grease. I don't know what you're trying to say. Autocorrect killed your message, but autocorrect didn't kill that. You just dropped $100 hauler, and for that you are the man.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you. Are you still here, pal? Wow. Thank you for the $100 hauler. Styles, he's still here. Where's Styles at? Styles says 10-team full PPR. Hurts, Rice, Olave, Bijan, Mason, Kittle, Monty, Benchworthy, Hopkins, Hubbard, Swift, Grendo. Played Swift over Bijan. Worked great. Want to play Shakir tonight over Monty. Thoughts? I probably would go Monty myself. But, bro, you had a good instinct so far. Chat, Monty or Shakir, put it in the chat. I'm going Monty. Seems like a safe touchdown grab, bro. Very safe touchdown grab. Styles, you still here? And Eric, are you still here? Eric, appreciate you. Where's my boy Eric? Where's my boy Styles? Let me know if you're here, boys. Appreciate you. Kyle Woods, emergency flex, pick 2, JSN, Walker, and Shakir. I probably go Walker. Shakir. I guess, guys, Shakir, are we doing Shakir? Are we doing Shakir or are we doing JSN? JSN or Shakir? Maybe Shakir's safer. Shakir and Walker will be my choice. Can you play the JD5 video again as a JD5 owner? I will, Anthony. I'll play it again at the end on the way out the door. It's such a long one. I don't have the 2.5. I don't want to play the 2.5 ones, but the other one, sure, on the way out the door. Should I trade Amon-Ra for K9, Kincaid, and Godwin? I'm gonna say no. Depends on your depth, bro. Trade Amon-Ra for K9, Kincaid, and Godwin. That's a haul. That is a nice haul. Chat, should he do that? He's 0-3, or he's 0-4. He has Puka on IR. Does he trade Amon-Ra to get back K9, Kincaid, and Godwin? It is a haul, bro. I guess I would do that. Godwin's still very good, man. Don't let this week kind of derail his season. I guess I would say do that. The chat seems to agree. It's hard to trade Amon-Ra, but bro, you kind of need to if you're 0-4. Forgive me, Lord Kyren, forever doubting him overcome, says Kyren is the man. My Connor and Kirk for Worthy and Olave. I would rather have Worthy and Olave and take the chance on that situation, my guy. Appreciate you. White Rice, appreciate you. In Smitty, we trust. Look, I haven't been perfect. I don't want to act like I'm reading these going, yeah, I miss stuff too. But I think for the most part, we're having a pretty damn good year. I know some of you have collectively, like, I'm going to have of my big calls, the bold predictions, which I get judged for a lot, overjudged for a lot, in my opinion, because there's still a 2-3 hour show done every day where we address other players that are not the Moon Men. You know what I mean? And I feel like if they're not on the Moon Men, people act like we didn't call it. If they're not on the Moon Men or Mars Men or Saturn Men, they act like we didn't suggest that Kamara was going to be one of the best running backs to have this year at his cost of entry. And he was. You know, so there's a lot of good that happens that's outside of the Moon Men, Mars Men, and Saturn Men. But I do appreciate the compliment here, but we're not 100%, but we're doing pretty damn good in my opinion. If we didn't have Kupp and Debo go down, and it was nice to see Debo back look unhampered, we would be doing so much, like we'd be smashing the hell out of everything, even with Bijan not doing well. Even with Breece Hall not doing well. The whole world wanted Breece Hall and Bijan. The whole world loved both of them. We're not alone there. Smitty, we trust. I've been yelling it since you first told us and never stopped. Chase Brown? I don't know how that's going to work out. You know, this is like the Lionheart. There's certainly a situation where this could do well. Chase Brown could continue to do better, or he could fall to the wayside. But I do love Chase Brown at the cost of entry, especially when he's free in a lot of drafts. Brooks coming off IR. Should I drop Steele? Yes. If you have to make that move, sure. Steele kind of lost his job by fumbling the ball again today. I can't help that. I don't know why he didn't secure the football. Carson Steele looking rusty, shaking my head. Is it over for him? I think they caught him. I think the government caught Carson Steele, the beast, and they captured him. He's in a cage as we speak, and I don't know if the beast will ever be let out again. Told you Ayuk would outperform Rice this year, says Box of Juice. No one's going to give you kudos for that, Box of Juice. Nobody. Absolutely no one. I promise you that. Tyler, appreciate you traded JK and JMO for Achan and just traded. So JMO and JK for Achan, smash. And just traded Diggs for Kittle. I don't know about that one. Kittle's banged up. We'll have to see how he is walking into the next week. I don't hate that second one, but I love the first one, bro. Tyler, absolute solid job. Wicks, 13 targets. Wicks looks great. Look, I came out and I loved Wicks in week 1, and that crapped the bed. And I admit, even I didn't push for stay the course long enough because Jordan Love went down. Then we're like, I don't know what's going to be what. Wicks has been fantastic. I loved him in week 1. I promoted the hell out of him in week 1. He was one of the top pickups. If you remember the preemptive week 1 waiver wire show, before week 1 kicked off, Wicks was near the top of my wide receiver board. And I said, everyone and their mother will go racing for Wicks on the waiver wire board coming out of week 1. He crapped the bed in week 1. I was early. I'm sorry. But Wicks has been fantastic. And if you picked up Wicks and he's a wide receiver you keep shoveling out there every week, you've been crushing it. Wicks to the mother freaking moon. And I'm proud of that one. Up 22. Opponent has Laporta, Shakir, Lions. I'm going to say, Sebastian, I'd rather be him, but it doesn't mean it can't go the other way, you know. Take a lap. Also, Smitty, when I told you Neighbors is better than MHJ, I'm not taking a lap for anything on that, bro. They're both absolutely fantastic. So, no. But I appreciate you anyway. Rise Above says lost Rice in both leagues, 2-2 and 4-0. I'm sorry, Rise Above. I appreciate you, and we're thinking of you, pal. So Worthy and Najee for Kyren, absolutely. And this is a big Worthy fan sitting in front of you. We got Bleezo with the $20 holler in the building. Bleezo, appreciate you, my guy. Bleezo says 2-1. AR5 Fields, H.N. Mason, Ford, Bucky, Brooks, Pacheco, CD, Rice. London Cup. Worthy, Dell, injury galore, bro. What move should you make? Trade CD and Rice for Tyreek and Debo? Yeah. I would, if you could pull that off before the news breaks that the ACL is what we're dealing with, bro, that's probably a pretty good move. I love CD, but Tyreek is still undervalued. Debo, you pull that off, bro, and you kind of maybe fixed your problem. But I probably wait on Cup. I don't think there's much more to move unless you're going to move, let's say, Brooks and London, Brooks and Rice hurt. If someone will buy him right now on spec, you know, for one player, that's probably what I would do. But absolutely smash the hell out of that trade. And wide receivers out attack. I mean, MHJ had a good week, but not an amazing week. So there's that. You have Debo playing, and you're already looking at Debo. Debo's somebody I'd maybe attack. DK before the game kicks off, I'd go after that. We'll have a lot of buy lows this week. Let me digest some things, but I think that's a good start, and I absolutely would smash the hell out of that trade. Garrett, thank you for the $20 hauler, but let's really attack it this week. I'll have the buy lows up tomorrow, probably. Panic level on Garrett Wilson's pretty high. Pretty high, bro. Given the cost of entry, are you going to sell low? You kind of can't. Josh Allen and Pollard for Mason. JD5 on the bench. I don't know, man. I guess if you have Garendo, maybe. But honestly, bro, Josh Allen's about to let him go out there and prove himself tonight and get more value. Josh Allen, I don't care where he gets drafted. He has more value than Mason. So you need to get more. You just really need to get more. I hate when people think that you got to value Josh Allen where you drafted him. He was stolen away from everybody. Smitty, do I pick up Pittman now? Drop Singletary? I probably would. But it could go either way, for sure. Josh Allen and Pollard for Mason. Thank you for that question. Ross, Chase Brown must start flex this week. I think probably Ross, he might be. Snag Chase Brown and Addison on waivers this morning. Attaboy world, appreciate you. Superfish slaughtering in 2 of my 3 leagues. Need 41 points from Achan, Tyreek, DK Metcalf, and Monty. And my opponent has Tucker I think you got a shot at that. So add that thoughts. Yeah, I think 41 points, you should be able to get that. I want to be you versus him in that situation. No doubt about it. Need kicker, try to win. Bass, Myers, Bates, Sanders, drop Garendo. Don't drop Garendo. I have Braylon Allen, Miami and Seattle backfields, and Hunt and Ford, Chase Brown, Hill for my McLaurin vetoed. That's really weird because McLaurin's playing great. Like, what side are they vetoing? I don't even know. Vetoes are ridiculous. As far as your kicker move, I guess looking at this situation, maybe your best drop. I don't know. Chad, are you dropping Ford or Garendo? If you own Mason, you can't drop Garendo. If let's assume Michael doesn't own Mason, do you drop Garendo or do you drop Ford? That is the only option that Michael has. Or do you roll without a kicker? But he needs the win. He's trying to win. I don't think I can drop. If you own Mason, you can't drop Garendo. If you don't own Mason, I guess I drop Garendo, but I pick him right back up. I drop my kicker after the game, and I pick him right back up. That's not an easy call whatsoever. I can't believe that got vetoed. I like Tyreek Hill a little more myself, but how can you veto that? All right, phone calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, you better not drop Garendo if you own Mason. By the way, is Eric still here? Did Eric end up saying he was here? Eric, where you at? Read my super chat, man. Bucky, read my super chat. Hotter than fish grease. Eric, you here? Eric, appreciate you, my guy. Sorry, I was in rant mode. Sometimes I don't get the super chats before the monologue, or it derails what I'm trying to accomplish. But Eric, are you here? Hotter than fish grease is what he said. JD5 is hotter than fish grease. Is what he meant to write. Appreciate you, bro. All right, phone line is open. Dial in. Tate, you're live. Tate, what can I do for you, Tate? Make it quick, not a full roster eval. We don't have time for that.
I have Josh Jacobs, and I'm thinking about trading out because I have AR as my starting QB. Who should I trade Josh Jacobs for? I could do Josh Jacobs in a piece.
It depends on the pieces. Coming off a bad game, Jacobs had a bad game. I don't know that you're going to get rid of Josh Jacobs easily right now, and I don't know that I want to trade him low. So I'm holding him unless that piece is what? Give me a couple names.
Like, I have Worthy, Dell, Pickens are like three of my pieces that I could trade.
I would probably trade Pickens and Josh Jacobs for, let's see what Achane does. Achane might be a buy low. We'll have to wait and see what there's still, obviously some players that need to be considered for this. Who's your quarterback?
AR5.
Okay, so maybe you need to go after a QB.
That's what I was thinking.
How about Josh Jacobs? I'm sorry, who? So you have no other backup quarterback?
I have Jared Goff.
Okay, why don't you trade Jacobs for Mahomes on the low? Everyone's gonna crap on it, but bro, it's gonna be a good value.
Okay, so you said Jacobs for Mahomes?
Yeah, I would. Not everybody's gonna agree, but you got to trust your gut, bro.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Smitty.
Yeah, appreciate you. The crazy part about the Mahomes hate is that, like, worst case scenario, he's getting you what you're paying right now. Like, that's what's so wild about the total hate. Torn ACL, I got to put a question mark there because we don't have full confirmation yet. But that's what it's appearing. And the reason I know that it's probably a torn ACL is because it's a fear. They fear it's a torn ACL. The reason that they probably know this is let's say you think you might have broke your ankle. You need x-rays. Let's say you think you tore your MCL to the point where it needs surgery, you need x-rays. Let's say you tore your meniscus. You can kind of feel if that happens, really, by the way you step and you have sharp pain. It feels like somebody hooked up a car battery and just starts like shocking your body, especially if there's some sort of loose body in the knee joint. And when there's nothing more painful than if there's a piece of bone that breaks off or something, or your ACL snaps like a rubber band, balls up and gets caught in between your joint, and then you close it kind of like a door hinge. You put your hand in the door and you close the door on your hand. That's what it feels like when something's in the way of the joint. I've had all of this on my knees. But the reason an ACL tear is probably in play is they can do a field test where they have the player sit on a table like this, and they're sitting on a table. They put their hand behind the leg and they pull on it. And if there's any leeway there, if it's laxed, if it stretches a lot, if it moves a lot, they know that the ACL stability, which is holding that joint tight, that joint is no longer tight and it's sliding around a little bit. They know that the ACL is either partially torn to the point where it's probably going to need surgery to tighten it back up, or they just take it out and replace it, or it's snapped in half, which is usually the case because ACLs snap like rubber bands. They're, again, not stretching and tearing, and then you got to like put it and tighten it up. It's not like that. It's a rubber band snapping in half situation. All right, let's go over to Tate. Everybody else, please mute yourself. Tate, you're live.
You just went through me, Smitty. You just went on that rant, and I don't know if you were talking to me or the chat.
Well, what was your question?
Who I should trade Josh Jacobs for?
Oh, okay.
And
All right. Great. Thank you, Tate. Call back tonight during the waiver wire show or later. Gavin from Arizona, you're live.
Fields is him.
Huh?
Fields is crazy.
He is. I would say he's not him. He's kind of him. JD5 is him. But Fields is close to being excitingly him. I mean, he definitely, has a lot to be desired, but he's a winner, man. I mean, if you put him in the right position, I think he's a gamer. I really do think Fields is a winner and a gamer. He just hasn't been set up properly. And dare I say, he's not even really being set up properly in Pittsburgh because they won't name him the clear-cut starter. It's pretty wild. Eric, mute yourself real quick, please. All right, go, Gavin. Anything else? The game's kicking off, so I got to roll.
I have a trade question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You trade Bijan for Mason and Metcalf.
You said a bunch of things, so say it one more time.
Bijan for Mason and Metcalf. Would you do that?
Bijan for yes, I would. Of course, I would. Try and get Garendo, bro. Yeah, I would do that. Like DK Metcalf's a wide receiver 1, and Mason's a wide receiver or running back 1. Bijan, some might say they'd rather have Mason and Garendo over Bijan right now, and I don't blame them. Kincaid catching a pass. Yeah, dude. I like Bijan too, bro, but I'm doing that trade. That's an easy trade. All right, call back during the show tonight. Let me go over to, I'm going to leave you last, rock out, so I can let you close out the phone line. Jake from Tampa, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. I was the one who sent the super chat for the Amon-Ra trade, but I wanted to ask you about what do you think Rashee Rice? What to do with Rashee Rice for Dynasty?
I mean, you hold him unless somebody's willing to chase the ambulance and buy him. But bro, here's the thing. Here's what I wonder: if he tears his ACL, does he make his court case situation happen quickly so he can be suspended? That's the first thing that ran through my mind is, can he get the suspension out of the way while he's healing from the ACL tear? If it is an ACL tear. So if he doesn't, then he's going to miss some time next year and have an ACL tear. Sometimes you can't speed along the court case process if you've already delayed it. But that went through my mind. Like, I just thought to myself, like, as soon as it happened, the first thing I thought of was like, can he get suspended now? What's going to happen with that? So honestly, the truth is, I don't know that anybody's going to come ambulance chase for him, bro. You're just going to have to hold and wait. Unfortunately, it sucks. It is what it is. He's still a top 10 wide receiver for games played. But I mean, what does that mean next year if he's out for 6 to 8 games? What's that mean next year if he's not, I assume he'll be fully healthy and ready. I don't know about 100%, but ready to play next year. But he'd be very, very smart to figure out a way to legally get suspended this year. I don't know if that's even possible though, because if let's say he's out for the year and he gets put on, IR and he's done for the year, that's no longer an option. But like, let's say he's going to struggle to be healthy all year. I wonder if that could happen. It's tough to say. The tush push for Josh Allen. So if he's done for the year and he has a torn ACL, they're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to play these games. All right. For now, hold him, Eric. There's no way to trade him. No one's trading for Rashee Rice right now. If you find a trade partner, bring it to me and we'll try and work something out. But I can't concoct something like that. There's just nobody that, I'd be taking stabs in the dark at who would maybe want to buy him. Would I trade him? Would I trade him for DK Metcalf straight up right now? Yes, I would. Would I trade him for Cooper Kupp in Dynasty? Maybe you get creative like that and you can win now because of it or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of bath you'd have to take on this thing, to where you're buying an older player that has 1 year left or something to that tune, and you're sacrificing the future value of Rashee Rice, which you think is in question anyway because of the suspension. But what happens, when that suspension's over and all that? So, I don't know. All right, bro.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp would be an interesting idea if you could win cash money, though. So, consider that, I guess. But Jake from Tampa, you're the second to last caller, then rock out. Jake, go ahead.
That's me, Smitty.
What?
I just asked the Rashee Rice question.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. I must have hung up on the other guy. Sorry. Gavin, call back, or whoever it was. All right, bye. Rock out, you're live. My phone lines are kind of crossed today, I think.
Well, first of all, JD5 is MVP.
Mm-hmm.
One of the captains of the fan club.
Yep.
And basically can't buy a win because Stevenson keeps fumbling, and I need to find a trade for him.
No one's going to buy Stevenson. I'm sorry. You could do maybe a 2-for-1. Like trade Stevenson and let's call it Deontay Johnson, who just scored a touchdown, like something like that, and then get yourself a DK Metcalf if he plays badly. Get yourself a Sam Laporta if he does nothing, in his contest. Then all of a sudden, bro, you've got a potential situation, but it's going to be really hard. But you can do it. Like, go after players that are doubted. I mean, that's the whole point of buy low, sell high, is you're trying to find, and even if you're selling like low, you're buying lower on a guy you like, and you can get out of a situation you think is going to continue to go downward. Like an example like Mahomes, I'm not worried at all about selling Mahomes if I have him, because he's already you're not going to get the value back. You might as well hold him. And if I'm buying Mahomes, I'm not afraid to buy Mahomes at all, because you're buying him at his floor. And I know a lot of people are mad at Mahomes. Mahomes injured Rashee Rice, but it wasn't really his fault. You could say it was. He was trying to make a tackle, okay? And Rashee Rice came running into Mahomes. It wasn't necessarily Mahomes doing. Everyone wants to blame. Everybody hates Mahomes. I don't know why. In my opinion, he's such a likable guy. I don't understand why Mahomes gets so much hate. I don't know if it's people don't like Sesame Street and Kermit the Frog or whatever the hell that gives people that. People hate goats. When you're a goat in training, people like Tom Brady, people hated Tom Brady. And I think that comes with the territory. When you're not a fan of that team, when you get tired of seeing somebody win, people see Mahomes as 4-0 right now. It drives them nuts. I'll buy Mahomes. I love Mahomes. This is not a biased take at all. Do I think JD5 is better? Absolutely right now in fantasy. No question about it. But would I buy Mahomes on the low? Yes, I will. Anyway, anything else, bro? Let's cook up a trade tonight. Call into the evening waiver wire show and let's see. Come up with some ideas and let's throw some. Give me a bunch of names and we'll try and throw something at the wall. See if it sticks.
All right.
All right, later, bro. Yeah, I really kind of can't wait for Mahomes to bounce back. I'm not saying he scores 45 touchdowns. I'm not delusional about how he's a little bit behind on the touchdown race. You know, like I get that, but go forward, could he be at a pace that is a win a league trade for on the low pace? Absolutely. Eric, did Eric ever respond? Where's Eric? Eric, appreciate your $100 hauler. Where's my boy Eric? He drops this $100 hauler, and I didn't acknowledge it when it came in because I was in the middle of a rant, and I just want to make sure he sees that I'm acknowledging the hell out of it. Have Mostert drop Spears or Doodle for Wright. I would probably drop Spears for Wright, but maybe keep Doodle. Dowdle's kind of getting work, and I don't know that I believe in him, but would I trade him? Do I think there's good trade value for Doodle, a.k.a. Dowdle? Yes. I think there is some good, not straight up 1-for-1, but like you trade your Deontay and Dowdle, and you get an underrated player. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, I don't even care to argue with people on Mahomes. It's fine. If anybody in here feels that Mahomes is not going to bounce back at all, I'm totally fine with that. I don't need to convince anybody. Henry breaking off a long touchdown run. Look at Henry go. Wow. Derrick Henry. Let's see if there's a flag. Derrick Henry, touchdown run. How many yards was that? Holy crap. Was that an 87-yard touchdown run by Derrick Henry? Look at this man. Wow. Wow. Woo! Doggy. Ha ha. That was a nice run. Yeah, he is. He continues to defy the odds, no doubt about it. Good for him. All right, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. We'll be back. Carrot, you get that I want to stick with Mahomes, but there has to be a realization. There doesn't have to be a realization of anything 4 weeks into the season, my guy. And it wasn't like he had a garbage game. He had close to 300 yards and a touchdown or whatever. So it wasn't like he had a garbage game. He's 4-0. And the offense isn't quite clicking. He lost his star wide receiver that was the number one wide receiver in the league, Carrot. So you think whatever you want. I don't have to realize anything after 4 weeks. I've been doing this since you were in diapers. So I've seen players have very bad starts for longer than 4 games. I've seen it all, so I don't have to realize anything. I can do whatever the hell I want, Carrot. That's why I do this. $87 yards. Nice job. King Henry doing it live. All right, appreciate you all. I will see you all tonight for the Waiver Wire show. We go live literally while the game is still going on, the last 2 or 3 minutes, maybe last 5 minutes, the video will be up. The placeholder video will be up. The live chat will be going for that said video, and I will punch the button and go live as soon as the game ticks down to 0. So I will see you tonight. This happens every Sunday night. Following the Sunday night game, I go live for the Waiver Wire show. Appreciate you all. I'll see you later.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
A Chan. A-Chan is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
A-Chan is the man.
It was brought to my attention I might be talking a little bit too much about the same topic lately. I've been doing a lot of JD5 posts, and I know people are saying, Smitty, I wish you could create more diverse content. You've been like 4 of your last 10 posts have been about JD5, and I just said, I don't know. I guess my reaction wasn't really the best. So I want to first acknowledge that and just say, no one's perfect. I'm always trying to get better. And I do think you won't hear any more. I'm gonna stay away from JD5 content. Never. Come on, bro. Buckle up, baby.
Lift off of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.
Live Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks and live after games. So see you guys after this one for the waiver wire show. Again, don't be late. We'll be live kind of on here waiting to hit the go button, but the chat room will be open and the video will be up, and probably about 2 to 5 minutes before the game ends. So come join us during the last 2 to 5 minutes of the game and chat live in the video. See you all later.